I should probably just turn it on.
Maybe.
Let me go ahead and turn it on.
Scrub.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on, John.
Scrub moves.
Yo.
Are you ready? Because this is recording and they're all going to see this.
Yeah,
Dumbass.
that was the first thing that came across.
Freddie Prinze. President.
Oh, it was great.
Smooth start as usual. So dumb.
We're so stupid.
Forgot to turn it on.
I forgot to turn it on.
But the YouTube channel on YouTube / all that good stuff, GEGGHEAD, when they see it, they will see the intro or the prequel to the intro.
It wasn't just him calling me a dumbass. It wasn't just him calling me dumbass. But he was right that I was going to start doing. Do you know that funny. I did an entire episode of Fairly Normal last week and forgot to press record?
I 100% believe that, and that's amazing. How? Okay. I know there was anger, but it was only for a second.
Brief.
Because you have the stoner mentality,
Laughter.
And it must have just been like, holy shit, I just talked for an hour.
It went just like this.
Myself.
I said, all right, everybody. I said, take care and love you. And I went to press stop, and I went, motherfucker. And then I just started laughing because I was like, because look, podcasting by yourself is weird anyways, because you're talking to yourself.
You're like Demi Moore and Ghost.
Exactly. But when it's not on, and then you realize you've been making these poignant points and really pouring your heart out, and then you realize it's just been you in the room by yourself.
Yeah. The reflection in your mirror.
Yeah. I'm starting with a man in the mirror. Now, hey,
that's amazing. By the way, I'm surprised we haven't done that yet.
Yeah. Well,
we've done almost 90 podcasts, and we've never done that once. And to me, that's amazing.
That's a win.
I mean, I've done like a whole, when I used to be on Twitch, I did a good 30, 40 minutes of like, and it was some of the best gaming I ever did, where like Call of Duty and my kill death ratio was like around like 19 kills and 4 deaths on like 3 games in a row, like right around that area. That's like G level for me and for other people too. I'm like, what do you think about that? And the chat room's empty. I'm like, man, that's weird. Usually as soon as son of a bitch. And then I press stream because it looks highlighted. So I'm like, no, I click it. And I'm telling you, the second I click it, it's like, hey, man, hey. And I literally was like, mother, father. But I didn't want to like be super angry at the start of the stream. So I'm like, hey, everybody, welcome to the stream.
Super funny. Did you tell them?
No. And then the next like 4 games I played, I was like just average scrub sauce. Like
that's like, you know what that's like? That's like the dude, we all know the guy who's like, I hit 23 pointers in a row. When? At the gym yesterday.
By
Who was
myself.
There? Nobody. It was just you.
It's like going on an audition and not doing it the way you know you can do it, but on the way home, it's still in your head, and so you just say it out loud, and it comes out perfect.
That happened
and
to me last week.
You're like, son of a, son of a bitch! God, why didn't you just do that when you were in a room? And it makes you insane. Like every artist has had that moment.
By the way, yesterday Beth did something, and it's in line with this, but I've done this too. So I was driving down Ventura Boulevard and got a call from her. She goes, hey, can you swing by Whole Foods? And I said, sure. What do you need me to pick up? She goes, my groceries. What do you mean? She goes, I went to Whole Foods and I bought groceries and I left without them.
That's amazing.
And I said, what do you mean? She goes, oh, they're at register 5. And I went back and there were 2 bags of groceries.
That's money.
And so I said to the guy, Raphael, I go, what's the... He goes, yeah, she just walked out. And I turned to the woman who was helping me bag the groceries and I said, did she just leave? And she goes, yeah. And the woman who was bagging them said, did she pay for the groceries? And the guy was like, yeah. And he was like, well, what should we do with them? He was like, we just fucking leave them here, I guess.
She'll get hungry.
She went all the way home.
Oh my, she's got a lot on her mind, man.
Oh,
that's
dude.
amazing.
So,
I've done moves like that.
Yeah, man.
I've done moves like that.
I listen, I have no problem with admitting I've gone to the gym, right? I got dressed, went to the gym, psyched, man. Ready for a great workout. I showed up, I was just wearing jeans, my shirt, and I was like, well, I never changed. I just drove to the gym.
Wait, what?
I've gone to the gym.
But in your head, you changed.
I just forgot. I was like, oh, I got to go to the gym.
And you just went
So I
dressed
just
like
walked
you are
out of the
right now.
house and I went to the gym and I went.
Did you do the blue jean workout or did you go
No,
home?
I can't. I did. I can't. Hey, and John.
I would love for you to be the guy that had
No.
the guts to do the blue. It's the worst move.
Dude, okay, there was a
But the
guy.
blue jean workout is so hysterical.
Freddie, there's a guy in the gym today. Oh, I wish my rule. Look, I'm not one of those guys as much as I want to. If you're doing weird shit in public or dressed weird, I'm never gonna take a picture of you or videotape you because
Oh, people do that all the time, but yeah.
I don't like to do that because I feel like, hey man, they left the house. This is what they wanted to wear.
Yeah.
It's not up to me to shame them. So I don't ever do that.
By the way, no one should be shamed for working hard.
Yeah.
Which is all they're doing at the gym. Now, if you want to shame somebody who's not working at the gym, they're just staring there like harassing women, please do that. Shame
Okay,
them.
my man was, first of all, jeans, black sneakers, black tee, tight. So he's dressed like a greaser, not a soch.
But was he?
But he was dressed like an
Was he
outsider.
yoked or no?
Probably mid-40s.
But was he
age.
yoked?
No. I would describe him more like
Average.
yeah, like a Kurt Russell looking dude.
Okay, gotcha.
Mirrored sunglasses, big ones.
Wait.
Mirrored sunglasses, feathered hair. Okay, and he's got a Starbucks coffee in his left hand that he's not letting go. And every now and then,
What's in the other hand? The weight?
the weight. So he's switching hands. When he switches hands, he switches coffee, and right. So he's sipping his coffee.
This, I have to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those cases where you should break your rule.
Okay.
And because this is like, it could be an alien. Like this is like a scientific experiment.
You know that old school sit-up thing that is on a decline? Okay.
You hook your feet underneath it.
So he has it at the harshest decline.
Yeah.
But only one leg underneath,
Nice.
and the other leg I've never seen it. And
That's the spot leg.
yeah, and he's
Put that leg down the spot.
yeah, and he's doing his sit-ups round
Yeah. The circle. They call it the circle spot.
with his
sit-up.
coffee in the air.
Yeah, I've seen this workout.
Okay, and then he would get up and he would do shoulder presses with one hand while sipping his coffee with the other.
And then you do the switch.
Yeah, and you do
this workout's online. It's
with
popular.
the fucking shades, dude. And then he was doing this.
They call it the circle jerk.
You know, like the capoeira.
Yeah,
that
I
kind of
love
look?
that. Yeah.
So he was kind of doing the capoeira.
The coffee capoeira.
Coffee capoeira with a coffee in one hand
He's
and
a
a
black
10-pound
belt.
weight in the other.
He's a black belt for sure.
Dude, it was like I was
If
watching.
you'd have messed with him, he'd have hit you with the sweetest kick.
You ever watch someone do an exercise and think, what muscle is that when working?
For sure. Now I will say this. This guy sounds like bullshit. But I've seen guys that do workouts specific for the martial art they train because it's a position they're in a lot. So I've seen this weird jujitsu push-up where guys are switching their legs from one side of their body to the other because that's a move they make so frequently. So it's called reflex development, right?
Yeah.
But I love, and I see this, I fall into Instagram black holes all the time.
You send me great videos.
Oh my God, dude. Because you'll hit one that makes you laugh, and then you're scrolling through like, oh, that's shit. Oh, that's just a copy of the other shit I saw. What is that? That zebra just slid down a spiral slide into a bowl of fucking Cheerios?
Yeah, I'm posting
sending that to John. But yeah, man, so you'll see these like weirdo workouts where people are just doing crazy shit,
Yeah.
like on a treadmill with rubber bands around their knees and dumbbells in each hand, and they're sprinting and throwing like the worst uppercuts you've ever seen in your life. And they do it for 10 seconds, stop, and then they're like, oh. I'm like, dog, what did you just do?
Dude,
Like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
and I'm sure you.
I just want to punch you with a real uppercut.
To show you. Now watch in the mirror. This is how it looked. Dude, my favorite, and I'm sure you've seen this guy, is the guy at the gym with the heavy bag who hits it a couple times.
No, now these are my favorites.
But walks.
this is my shit.
But
so this
walks
is my
around
favorite.
it like he's actually fighting somebody, and he kind of talks to it a little bit, and then he
I
throws
love
a couple.
that.
You know the guy I'm talking
love
about?
that.
That guy's my all-time favorite workout guy.
So those are the best.
is
okay?
the heavyweight guy, heavy bag guy who hits it a couple times and then walks around like he's really in a fight and turns his back and then looks at the bag like it said something to him and then throws a couple more.
Now,
punches.
if you're someone who spars and you're kind of trying to mimic punches coming at you
That's
and
not what this
countering shots, then that's dope, and I respect you for putting in that much
Mm-hmm.
much work and effort. What Josh is talking about, and I've seen this guy, and this is not a bullshit story, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I used to work out at a place called Equinox on Wilshire and like Westwood, like right there. And they had a room that had heavy bags in it, which was always empty because that clientele just wasn't into combat sports. So I had this room to myself every single day. And I would just be in there and I would be killing it on the bag, like 5-minute round, 5-minute round. Like it was nobody's business, right? I'm in there one day, Dolph fucking Lundgren comes in. And I'm like, the fuck? And now all of a sudden, and I'm understand, like I've done martial arts since I was 3. I'm very confident in them. I've trained with some of the best and sparred with some of the best fighters in the world, like legit. They took care of me. They weren't trying to hurt me, thank God. But I got that experience and that benefit. And I was so intimidated that Ivan Drago was there and was hitting pads and mitts with his trainer. And I literally was like, holy shit. So I took a break. I like gave him the room, right? So I go out of the room, I go get some water, I come back in like 5 minutes later and he nods at me, right? I come in, I just go do my work on the farthest bag. Now this other dude comes in.
How long ago was this, by the way, years-wise?
10 years ago,
okay.
Easily, before I had kids. So this other guy comes in, looks about 43, 44. I'm about 32 at the time, 33, right around there. And he's your boy in the middle of the gym room. And he sees this. He don't give a fuck who I am, but he knows Ivan Drago when he sees him. And this is his moment to let Ivan Drago know he has what it takes, or it did at one point in his youth. So he starts doing this thing you're doing, where he's like, yeah, oh yeah, and he's saying, and like that's his kia, right? Like not like or his is like genuine. And he's looking at himself in the mirror while he's doing it, and he turns away from the bag to just face the mirror, and then like mirror, but he has no technique, no skill. Like all I want to do is punch him, right? Like hit him with the right version of the bad punches he's throwing. So look, I don't say shit. Lundgren, in the middle of his like round that he's doing, turns around and he goes, "I'm sorry, brother, I gotta ask you to leave." And the guy, without even blinking, goes, "Yeah, sure, no problem."
No,
just boom, right out the room, and I just looked. Went right back to my heavy bag and was like, it's like, dude, Drago just fucking Apollo Creeded your ass.
He just killed you for real.
He just killed you.
I hope
you don't get a sequel, but one day your son will. Your
son will come to the Equinox, and he'll try to do that too.
Yo, dude, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to, and very politely, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. And this deep, like Swedish, awesome voice. And, oh yeah, I get it.
That guy knew.
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah. He was like, that was his American Idol audition.
Bro, it was like watching a movie though. When like the guy's talking to the girl and he has no chance. She's like, "You have no chance." He's like, "Yep, gotcha, I'm out." Like he just knew he should not be there.
You know what?
And he's just committed to it. I was dead, bro. Dead. I just wanted to hang out with him to talk to him after, but I never saw him again. I love Dolph Lundgren. I love him on a lawnmower too. I've seen his commercial.
I love him more now for that. Because I imagine if you're Dolph Lundgren, Sylvester Stallone, even guys like Charles Barkley, anybody who's like a well-known, athletic, bigger guy, I bet you get people trying to show you how tough they are all the time.
Bro, I told you this story on our very first podcast together, where you foolishly asked if you could beat up Chuck Norris.
Right.
I was at a karate tournament that he wasn't sponsoring, but he was like there as like a holy shit, it's Chuck freaking Norris. It was in SoCal. It was 20 minutes from Tarzana where he lived at the time. And I'm in the men's room and he was at the urinal next to me and I'd finished my business and I'm at the sink and this guy comes in and he goes, "Fucking Chuck Norris, yeah man, I train too, we should train." And he's talking while Chuck is pissing. Chuck, and then he goes, "I just want to shake your hand." That's what he finishes with. Chuck turns around, leaves his dick out, turns to him with his hands on his dick, pulls his hand out and goes, "Are you sure?"
Oh my God.
Guy just goes, "It's nice to meet you." Dog. I was like, Brian, I don't know. I'll say 12. I always say 12, but I don't know how I was a kid, man.
Dude.
And I literally was like, holy shit. Because to me, it was just Chuck, right? He was the first guy I sparred with. I was 3 or 4 years old, man.
Dude.
But to see that, like, uber flip out, which I've had in moments in my life. I'm not, like, shitting on that guy. But his timing is so appropriately shat upon
Yeah.
by Chuck far more than me. Like that
In
move,
a masterful way. That's a master class.
Are you sure?
Yeah. That's a master class. Now, if it had been me,
You would have shook the hand.
I might have grabbed his dick. I'd have been like, yeah, man, which one am I grabbing?
That might be the only way to defeat Chuck Norris. Although I feel like 2 legs would grow out and sidekick you right in the chest.
Yo, for sure, if I had grabbed his dick, I would have ate a boot somewhere in the body.
Yeah, a dick boot.
A dick boot. Do you think when he turns 80, I'll be able to beat him up?
Probably not, man. It would have to be one of those things where he would have to be like unconscious.
Because you know what's funny?
Even then, he'd wake up.
Even when you saw, not in the last couple of years of Ali, but 10 years before his death, even when he was still couldn't really talk with Parkinson's, when he got to that speed bag, he could still.
If Ali punched you, even with Parkinson's, you would fall.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But his instinct is to punch. It's really weird, dude. I train a lot with Wayne McCullough, who you know, and he's been training my son for a while. And my son physically wasn't where all of the other kids in his, at least his 2 best friends. They ran faster than him. They were stronger than him. They were doing everything physical before him. And so I got him into boxing. And Wayne's been working with him, and he trains everyone orthodox. And he keeps telling me, he goes, Freddie, I think he's a southpaw like you. I said, well, yeah, he does both, but he writes left-handed. He likes to eat left-handed. He goes, don't watch him train for the next couple of weeks with me. I want to show you something. So I don't, I let him have his time, and then Wayne and I go on our run and then come back, and then he makes me spar after I'm exhausted, which is horse shit, McCullough. But anyway, 2 weeks go by, and he goes, Freddie, hold up your hands. I hold up my hands. He goes, Rocky, show him the pop, pop, boom. I go, show me the pop, pop, boom, Rocky. He does 2 little baby jabs. Just, they can see it now, so it's just pitter pat, just pip, pip with his right hand.
Yeah.
And then he throws this left hand from his feet, mind you, the way you're supposed to. Bang! He's 5. It hurt.
Nice.
And I literally was like, dude. And he looked at me like he was proud of himself, which is great and terrible all at the same time, because now he knows he can hit hard, which is not good, because he has to get those words up there, right? Like, hey, don't do that. Not, hey, don't do that. So he cracks me with this left, and Wayne looks at me, and I'm like, dude, that was like legit. He's not, now Rocky's just running around going, doing weird stuff, tormenting his sister. I go, dude, that's the hardest he's ever hit. He goes, I know. He goes, he's a southpaw. He goes, I still make him work both. He likes to switch because you switch, and he likes his daddy. He goes, but he hits way harder with that left hand. And then he looks at Sarah, and Sarah's like, don't even think about it. Because Wayne wants everyone to be a pro fighter. Like, even if you've only trained once. He's like, I can make you a champion. Because
he never said that to me, though.
No, well, not you, but like people who got a shot.
But you said everybody. He wants everybody.
Everyone that understands the benefit of moving laterally.
Oh, I didn't do that.
No.
I did a lot of backwards, and I did some forwards.
You did a lot of forwards, but then it was like sudden stops when your son was like, boosh.
Yeah. Well, I started to get real tired.
That prevented all movement.
Yeah. I was conserving energy because I was like, oh, I think if I move anymore, you know what was really not good?
You might not be able to drive home.
I know I need the headgear, but the headgear made it way harder for me to breathe.
You're not used to it,
Yeah.
but what's making it hard to breathe is the mental stress of what's going on. You feel yourself not in shape. You start to stress out that you're not in shape, which makes you tight, which makes the muscles fatigue more. Or you think somebody's gonna hit you, you stay tight instead of loose. It makes the muscles fatigue, and it's
when you're tight, you fatigue faster.
Oh yeah, man, you're flexing a muscle. You can only do it for so long, man. Like, that's just life. So, and you see it in boxing fights, and you see it in MMA, and it's why the benefit of warming up is so important. And most guys are like, man, I'm tired afterwards. You're tired, you'll recover. But now your muscles are relaxed, they're loose, they're not as likely to get tight. You go in tight, you go out asleep.
That's why before a fight, they throw all those shadow punches
into the mitts
into
too.
the
Or
mitts.
you'll see guys like wrestling on the ground. They want the muscles warm and hot so they can stay loose. If you stretch a cold muscle, you're gonna snap it. So you want fluidity, you want warmth in those joints and those muscles, all that stuff. That's same with football, basketball. That's why you see James Harden doing that leg thing to the side when he holds on the wall and keep those hips loose and lubricated,
by the
man.
way, that
the Tim Duncan stretch.
It's my favorite. The back and the sides.
I saw Tim Duncan do it like, I don't know how many years ago, 15 years ago, and I was like, man, that looks like that feels hella good.
Dude.
And I'll throw in a lot of kicks, so I use that to warm up.
You know, I had a terrible back. And, you know, I went to a chiropractor and all this shit. And
Where'd your back hurt? High or low?
Low.
Low.
So, and I got a tiny little degenerative disc problem. So there's gonna be some pain anyway.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, I think most people.
We're unlucky in
Yes.
this. We're not built to last.
But guys, if you have bad back, majority of the time, even with my disc problem, the majority of the time, it's a hip situation. Your hips are tight. So when your hips are tight, they pull on your hamstring and your back like that. But when you just swing your leg, and I really, the older I get, the more I really believe in an active stretch.
Yeah.
And that active stretch, guys, which means you're moving while you're stretching, because it really is, you're making your body do movements it normally does. But the swinging of the legs has cured my back.
Yeah, man. Hips are directly connected to that. Every masseuse will tell you that. I've had back surgery, not down low, but up high. But I've had plenty of low back issues too. And everybody that I've ever talked to said the same thing. Like, loosen up your hips, stretch your hips, and that'll start to alleviate a lot of the tension on the back, because everything's getting pulled the wrong direction.
Hey, what are the kids doing this summer? I forgot to ask you. Do they do camp? What do they do?
They're in camp right now. Sarah and my daughter left this morning for New York City. They're going to go see a couple of shows on Broadway. She's going to watch Mama do some Foodsters work stuff.
Awesome.
That's why I wore my Real Men Bake shirt.
Yeah.
Foodsters. Foodsters.com, son. What? You got to make it gangster. So they're in New York City with a girlfriend.
That's a great
of hers.
read.
Yeah. With a girlfriend of hers and a girlfriend of Sarah's.
Yeah.
So she's going to have a great time. So just me and The Rock. So they'll have camp for most of the summer. We always take off a little bit. Sarah's trying to talk to me about going to the Hamptons and renting a house out there because they're on the beach. And I'm like, we live 5 minutes from the beach.
Yeah.
Like, you better pitch something else.
Yeah. You pitch a beach? We got that.
I'm like, our house is bigger than the one we'd rent.
Yeah.
It costs $1 bazillion to rent. I'm like, nah, that ain't happening. So we'll figure something out. But our big plans are for Japan next spring.
Awesome.
We're taking the kids for their very first time.
Have you been to Japan?
I
never been.
lived in Japan when I was a baby because my mom had a job there for over a year. She worked in a restaurant there. And I've been numerous times as a kid, teenager, an adult with She's All That. I opened it there.
You did?
Oh, dude, it's such a crazy, awesome experience.
What's the difference between opening a movie, say in America, as opposed to opening in Japan?
Well, now, not at all. Back in the day, it was like a red carpet, gated area.
This is Japan or here?
Here. There could be fans there that you could say hey to and give high fives to, or somebody would go, get inside, right. Or you go inside. There, it was much more chaotic, but not in a bad way. Chaotic in, you're in the middle of the people that want to see the film. The difference is they're not aggressive like we are by nature, right? Mm-hmm. They're respectful and cool. They want to reach out and touch you too, just like anyone does. I think I was maybe 22 years old, 23, and it was new for me, but the culture wasn't new because I had been there so many times. So I liked it even more because maybe I always wanted to be Asian. John knows this. I always tell him, like, the one thing I'm jealous is he's Korean and I'm not. Like, I always wanted to be, like, in the movies. That's why I wanted to do karate, because I thought Bruce Lee was the man. And then my godfather's like, oh, I used to train with him. And I was like, what? Like, he taught you how to fight? He goes, no, Freddie. I taught him how to fight. I go, what? Now, that wasn't all the way true, okay? They shared a lot of techniques. But so for me, that was like what it was all about. I told you, Sarah got a sword of the state, meaning it belongs to Japan, legally out of the country to me for a 30th birthday present, because she knows, like, my godfather had some because he's been honored. Yeah. I didn't get that honor, but I still won it.
but like, was it so it was a bigger deal in Japan?
only to the people.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
To the business itself, no. Like they didn't have streets blocked off the way they do here.
There.
But to the people, it was a much bigger deal. Like because not everybody goes there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when someone does, and they're not just seeing the movie, but the person, the American actor, the gaijin actor, who comes over there to say, hey, thanks for coming out and seeing my movie. Like, it was just next level. Like, I wish I could open everything over there, man. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, man. And the questions you were asked through the translator were always like, I don't know. Everything was just next level. It was much more philosophical. Everything they wanted to know why a certain choice was made or why this or why. And in America, it's like, so was it fun to kiss Rachel Lee Cook?
Yeah.
Like, they just don't care about that shit over there.
I'm going to ask you a question that I know that there is a difference, but I don't know what it is, and I hope I don't sound like a dumb American asking.
I might not know.
But, like, the idea of sushi.
Yeah.
Which is what Japanese restaurants are here. Is it the same, like... I'm assuming the Japanese cuisine is a little deeper than just sushi, right?
It's a heavy French influence.
It is?
So all their best chefs went... Look, France...
So sushi isn't like the Japanese showcase of food in Japan.
They know they have the best food in the world, okay? They know sushi is the shit, like straight up. They don't brag about it, but they're like, yo,
this is good.
Y'all have it there for a reason. Y'all want to steal all our chefs for a reason. Like, we know we have the best. We have the best steak with the Kobe steaks. We have the best potatoes with the mountain potatoes. We grow the best vegetables. Our fish, we have access to more different ones. Like, they know, but they are down to share it. Right. And they just ask that you respect the culture in their restaurants, right? Like, that's all. That's why they ask people to take their shoes off. Like, just respect the culture because what we're bringing is dope. Like, tempura is bomb. Teriyaki sauce is fucking dope. Like, soy sauce is the shit. Like, everything that they brought over culinary-wise is amazing. So they know what they have, but there's as many French restaurants as there are Japanese cultural restaurants in, like, greater Tokyo because it's the influence of all their best chefs. Like, they all trained in France. That's where they go. They come back to Japan, kick ass and kill it. But you can have amazing French food all in Osaka, Tokyo, like all over the place. Amazing French food because they trained under the best.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. Japan's a bomb.
Is it better than the balls of meat that I made?
Look, I don't consider the recipe you described as food.
But you know what?
Or as Hannibal Lecter said, it's not food as I choose to define it.
Yeah. I will tell you, I think that, listen, I'm spitballing.
Don't defend what you know for a fact was a shit meal because you didn't even let Beth taste it because you knew it was shit.
I thought it was too good.
No,
I didn't
you
want to
already said like 2 or 3 podcasts ago you knew it was shit.
Yeah.
It's shit.
It was pretty bad.
The balls of meat, the Josh Wolf balls of meat is not food. It's just a ball of meat.
You're right.
Defend that.
I can't. You know what I honestly wanted to do? I honestly almost froze them and threw them at my brother's house. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I want to do that.
I told Beth, I'm like, I might freeze these and throw them at Dan's house, and she was like, "Don't throw them at Dan's house."
If you ever make them again, call me, man. I'm down. I know some houses you can fuck up.
With balls of meat.
Hell yeah.
Nobody gets their house balls of meated.
And I'll put a rubber band with a note on it that just reads "ball of meat." Oh, we gonna talk some WWE for once in my whole life.
We didn't even do the.
We didn't do a rap. We didn't do a rap.
Let's get right into WWE.
How long have we gone?
30 minutes, man.
Son of a bitch. You see how you do? You see how you do your boy?
Go. You
don't say go like you've been waiting on me to talk wrestling for a month.
You know every time you sit down and you want to talk about wrestling and I go talk about it and you're like, no, let's talk about some other stuff. And I'm always like, no, let's talk about wrestling. People want to hear it. And then you go off on some tangent.
I apologize.
About, whatever you talk about, tangents. And I'm always laser focused.
You are laser focused. That you had a lot of nicknames in college, but your current nickname is laser focused.
Laser focused. It's easy.
I see people hit you with that on social media all the time.
Laser hashtag.
By the way, I'm 50% responsible for us never talking wrestling. I talk a lot of bullshit too, man. So don't trip.
It's one of the things that I love the most about this podcast. is that one, neither one of us trip about it.
No.
But two, like, guys, the reason there's never like a beat in this podcast where you're like, did they lose? Did they run out of things to talk about? That's never gonna happen because our brains just go off in a different direction.
And they're usually, most of the time, they're not on the same road, but we end up kind of in the same place.
We're parallel roads. We're waving at each other. You know what we are? We're like in planes, trains, and automobiles. You're going the wrong way.
How does he know what they're
One of the best lines in any movie.
I agree.
And then the drinking thing.
All right, let me hit you with
Go.
WWE.
Go.
All right, so we're going to backtrack a little to Money in the Bank, which is incredibly weird because on the podcast, I said, look, I don't know what they're going to do with Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax unless something crazy happens. And I said this, because look, Nia, if she loses, they destroy this sort of anti-weight shame thing that they've been building up and making Nia this legit monster. But if Ronda loses, then what the hell do they sign her for? Like, that's just stupid. So you were like, so what do they do? And I said, look, the only thing that could happen, it would be crazy, would be because Alexa Bliss is so sick on the microphone and she's starting to, her work in the ring is top shelf. But I don't think she's designing matches yet. If I'm wrong, then she is a once-in-a-lifetime kind of talent, but I just don't believe she's doing that. I don't see her in the ear of the opponent. I see the opponent in her ear most of the time. But she's still executing. So I said maybe, if she ended up winning Money in the Bank, which would be crazy, and then maybe she like cashes in and like stops the match or they get DQ'd, something like that. And then I'm watching the match and I see Alexa Bliss win Money in the Bank and I'm like, dude, that's sick. But I had forgotten what we talked about, right? I'm like, man, at least they know. That lets fans know we know she's the best person on the microphone. We did this story with Nia Jax because it's an important story. We respect Nia Jax, but we didn't forget about Alexa. Like, she just didn't get that run and now she's going to fall off the face of the planet like they do too many other wrestlers. Kevin Owens. Man, he's in a storyline he deserves better than, but he's so good he could do anything, so they use him for everything. But anyway, I digress. So Alexa Bliss wins Money in the Bank. I'm like, that's sick. So then they get into the match with Ronda and Nia, and Ronda can wrestle. Like, the fans
legit wrestle, right?
Are there. Look, she's still green, but shit, man, like, the fans were receptive and they're quick to be harsh on someone from the outside coming in.
Athletic as the other girl? I mean, I know that she's an athlete. Is she as athletic and as nimble as those women?
You could argue that she's more. I mean, she lost her balance a little bit on a crossbody, but she corrected, and you could legit see like the quad muscles in her legs, the quick twitch muscles go like tick 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 and like flex, and all of a sudden her balance was like ting, like in a Tom and Jerry cartoon when they land on the electric wire. So the athleticism is there.
That's amazing.
Okay, like her legs are like fucking Terrell Owens. Okay, so they do their match. She finally gets Nia's arm. Nia's holding on with 2 fingers. The hold's a little too long. Either Alexa got in late or Ronda got to the finishing point too soon because Ronda had to kind of like freeze it and lock it. But whatever. I mean, shit, man, it's her first pay-per-view match. Like, I'm being hypercritical. I'm telling you, it was a good match. Alexa comes in, smashes Ronda with the briefcase. Okay, smashes Nia again, throws Ronda out of the ring, goes out of the ring, throws Ronda over the friggin' announce table, goes back in, beats Nia's ass some more, and when you have the briefcase, you can have your match anytime you want, and she gives it to the ref. She goes, I want my match right now. Ref opens it up, Nia's all fucked up, Alexa Bliss over, she's the champion of the world. Monday Night Raw comes around. This is what you were talking to me about. She comes out, she makes her speech. I'm Alexa Bliss. I'm the one. I'm the best on the mic. Deal with it. Kurt Angle, former Olympic champion, former WWE champion, Kurt, general manager of Raw, he comes out, and then out comes Ronda Rousey. And she's pissed. I mean, she's so... By the way, Ronda Rousey hit a rock bottom, the Rock's move on Nia Jax, and it looked so good.
What is the rock?
He throws your arm behind his head, puts his arm in kind of like a similar situation, so it looks like you're hugging each other.
Yeah.
And he lifts you up and he slams you down, right? And hers looked so crisp. I was like, damn, girl. Like, it was good. So anyway, she comes into the ring. She's pissed. You know she's going to punch Alexa. But not only does she beat Alexa's ass, she beats up Kurt Angle. She beats up the refs that come in to try to stop it, and is like side kicking them and shit. Like, and then picks Alexa up in like a modified backbreaker and smashes her through a table, and she gets suspended for 30 days. And she cuts what's probably her first good promo, although they're easier to cut backstage, on the exit, where she goes, I don't care, I've been suspended 30 days, whatever. Just know this, in 30 days when I come back, if Alexa Bliss is champion or not, I'm going to kick her little pink-haired ass. Like, and she came out hot, but that's easier to do. So when they can do that in the ring, that's when you know it's starting to come together. So she leaves, and I'm sitting there like, okay, we're going right the hell on. So I'm digging now where they're going, and as long as Alexa maintains the championship through this run, then they can do whatever they want with the other women, and they can get away with it because Alexa can hold down the fort, so to speak. What I really wanted to hit on, and we've talked about the NXT brand, which is their AAA basically, but they still, when it was on TV, was doing over 1 million people watching. It does multi-millions on their WWE network. And they did something called like this UK challenge a year ago where they were going to have a WWE UK champion. And he said, don't worry, Triple H goes out there at the end, he goes, don't worry, we'll be back. Well, they went back, and they did another tournament, and the winner gets to face the British champion. But what they also announced, and what I think you're gonna love, is they announced WWE UK NXT. So now they're gonna have a new television show on the WWE network on all the British young bucks coming
that's
up,
a good one.
who they'll start pulling from. And one of the women that they have signed, who's wrestling for the NXT Championship against the American Shayna Baszler, who's a legit MMA fighter, is your girl, Toni fucking Storm.
Oh, I love her.
She's wrestling tonight on the WWE Network, which you don't have.
How do you know I don't have it?
Maybe you do.
I don't have it.
Okay. I don't get money if you do get it, but if you want it,
Yeah.
it's like $10 a month. It has every old match from every wrestling organization just about ever in the world, and all the new stuff and tons of exterior content. You can learn about wrestlers if there's someone you like. But Toni Storm's wrestling on it tonight. This girl was trained. She trained in Japan. She does it the strong style way. She has tons of personality, beautiful face, legs that could bench press a pool table or leg press a pool table. I mean, she is the real deal. She knows how to sell, meaning she makes people look great, and she has a great, unique offense that's very Japan-oriented.
I love her Instagram.
And Shayna, her Instagram's money. She just looks cool, like a fucking rocker in every picture.
Yeah.
And her opponent is Shayna Baszler, whose mic skills are getting better as she gains in confidence. She's starting to relax a little. Her voice isn't getting tight like Shane McMahon's does when he has to talk on the microphone. You can hear him run out of oxygen real quick because he gets nervous.
Oh, is that right?
Oh,
Still?
yeah. Oh, still. After all this time, man, he still gets nervous. And
Crazy.
His voice will start to get tight, and then everything kind of gets up here. Like, you could tell every time. But Shayna's used to do that, and it's starting to relax a lot more. And she's just running through the women's division. And she has legit MMA. One of her mentors is this great female wrestler, Mercedes Martinez. I'm probably saying that name wrong. Correct me, one of you wrestling nerds who knows it better than me. Respect. But she's awesome in the ring. Like, her in-ring skills are sick. And she finishes people with a rear naked choke, which is kind of crazy. So if you guys want, you can...
Otherwise known as the sleeper.
Sleeper hold, but this is like on the ground,
Who
like
was
MMA
the original
style.
sleeper guy?
Well, the one most famous
the-
for it is Brutus the Barber.
Yeah.
'Cause
And he
that
would
was
cut your hair, right?
And he would cut your hair
Yeah.
after. That was but I don't know if he was the one who created the sleeper hold. That would be an interesting trivia question. Who started the sleeper hold?
You know, my favorite guy to ever break out of a sleeper hold. Who did it better than anybody?
Well, you gotta say Hulkster.
Without a doubt.
I'm not a
dude.
Hulk fan,
But he broke out of that.
but
this
the
and that.
shaking hand right before it hits the ground. Because it's like, you can see on the video, like, they give him 3 times. It's not like MMA. So they raise the arm and then flop onto the mat. And then a second time and flop onto the mat. And then, like, Brutus is like, yeah, ha, 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 got him, baby. And the hair's shaking. And Hogan's covered in sweat.
Yes.
And then the third time it goes up and and it stops and hovers right over the mat. And the ref is like this, oh, so that the crowd is like, oh. And then it starts to shake more. And then the hand on this side starts to ball into a fist. And then the shaky hand goes into a fist. And then he starts to come up. And then he spins inside and he busts out of it. And then no matter how many times you hit him, he hulked up and then it was over. You caught the leg drop and that was a wrap. But once he admitted he was a racist, then I lost love for Hulkster. So.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's
Sorry,
tough.
man. You said the words, I'm racist, so I believe you. I take you at your word.
He was there.
Look, I was an Andre fan, so
Yeah, but-
I'm not the best guy to go to for Hulk stuff.
Well, what I love about,
I'm biased.
I love, and you know, by the way, you know what Hulk could have used? Some Mac Weldons. He's got a Silver Surfer situation going on that's not great.
Let me tell you something right now. The mythos of the dick hug movement
It's
is far more prominent than I ever thought it would be.
crazy, right?
Listen, Mac Weldon sponsors us. We should be partners in the company because, and sometimes I post these. I get hit up so often, and thank you so much for not sending me pictures of you in underwear because that would be messed up.
Wait,
and
I get those.
Well, I'll retweet your ass and make everybody look at it. So
Yeah, I like it.
so that's on you.
Yeah.
But we get so much of that. Like I'm telling you, I get messages when I'm playing video games on Instagram, connected to things that aren't even connected to Mac Weldon, where a dude's like, hey man, I'm playing Sea of Thieves in my Mac Weldons right now. Hope I see you on the seas. Dick hug.
Dick hug.
And I'm sitting there like, man, I got video gamers playing in Mac Weldons. How do I not have a Mac Weldons jersey that says like the COO or the GM?
For those of you wondering, look, Mac Weldon
The
is
comfiest draws you'll ever wear. And now they do more.
without a doubt the most comfortable underwear you're gonna wear. And if you're curious what we mean by dick hug and prominent, they are like a push-up bra for your nuts. You know, they make your dick look bigger, more prominent.
Gotta
They lift
get
them
them
up.
those comfy nuts.
The comfy nuts. They should name some of those underwear the comfy nuts. Did you want a pair of the comfy nuts or the dick hugs?
You want the dick hugs or the comfy
Oh,
nuts?
the comfy
What are you
nuts.
looking for?
And guys, they're microbial, so they air it out.
You said that pretty nice.
Thank you very much. So there's no stinky nuts either. The taint is.
But I know a lot of people who do MMA listen to us too. I wear those in place of like compression shorts.
Yeah.
I'll wear like compression pants over them. And that's just respect to whoever you're throwing in a triangle choke. Like, I'm not lying, man. I won't roll with some dudes if the BO's wrong.
Yeah.
So you have that going on and you don't stink. Like, your partners respect that and they want to roll with you more because they know you're fucking clean.
And I'm gonna tell you something else, guys. So I give the Mac Weldons as gifts to people. Who
Don't gift them to me. I already get them as a gift.
Yeah, I don't gift them to you, but I do gift them to people who don't believe. They're like, well, underwear is underwear, and it's just. I used to think the same thing, and these aren't cheap, but they're not gonna have holes in them next week. They're not gonna stretch out the elastic band, and they're gonna feel good. You have no idea how good it feels until you put them on. You're like, yeah, damn, I feel pretty good.
Or your wife starts like saying, "Hey, what's happening?" Beth gave you love on your Mac Weldon.
She said that right.
But that's kind of messed up when it makes your dick look bigger, because then like the insecure part of your brain might be like, "Well, when do you think it looks small?"
every other time. But no, guys, now they have an incredible line of socks, super comfortable. Am I wearing those today? No, but I am wearing Mac Weldons.
Damn! Don't show the damn.
I am
I'm
wearing
not
Mac
even
Weldons.
gonna look.
And they have great hoodies. They now have joggers that are so comfortable. It's crazy. They got undershirts.
You can give a hug after you work out without smelling like shit. Trust.
Everything whatever, I guess, is it cotton? I guess whatever they're using is so soft. It's bananas. Makes your dick look bigger. The hoodies are super comfortable. Guys, I'm telling you, if you are not on this website getting the Mac Weldons at 20% off,
What's the code?
Prominent, all PROMINENT, all caps. You put in Prominent, they're gonna give you 20% off. So, and here's the deal.
That's better than 10.
They're not gonna give you 20% off this time and next time. So buy all your stuff now, right? The
That's
20%
smart.
off works the first time, your first time into the system. So don't just buy one and be like,
Or
well, I'll get
listen to
one next
someone
time.
else they sponsor and do their code, and you'll get 20 off.
But they don't sponsor anybody else besides us.
Or really? Then I want more checks.
Maybe they do sponsors.
All right.
Guys, MacWeldon.com, MacWeldon.com. It's the most comfortable stuff you're going to put on your body. Why are you torturing yourself? Type in Prominent, all caps, PROMINENT, all caps, you get 20% off. And it just seems like the smartest thing you would do with your money. Not the smartest, but it's in the top 1,000.
Okay.
1,000? That seems
Solid read.
Well, how'd you feel about that?
10.
It's like I feel like we do that read better than the other reads.
We do that read better than whoever else is doing that read.
100%. I don't know
Believe
how
that.
they haven't capitalized on. Maybe they can't say dick hug.
Well, then they're scrubs, and they need to
Then leave it
do
up
the
to
other
us.
reads to us. I'll do 3 Mac Weldon reads a podcast, and we'll only have about like 15 minutes of content.
I will tell you, you know what's funny is that people miss the Mac Weldon reads when we don't do them.
Yo,
They do
heard
it like, we
one
haven't
time
heard of
somebody
Mac Weldon read. They're
I've
like-
heard someone hit me on Twitter for that. That's funny shit.
You wanted to do. I love your idea for Mount Rushmore.
It's not mine. It was somebody on Instagram
Well, you blended it though.
who
You-
legit wrote me dick hug at the end of it.
but you that one was funeral, which we're not doing.
Yeah, but I still want to give the guy love.
okay. Hit him up.
This dude's name was Man of La Mancha. And his
Okay.
idea was 4 songs you want at your funeral. But as I shall live eternal, and that's not a possibility, we thought we would do 4 songs that you would walk out to in the world of boxing, MMA, or professional wrestling.
And it can be a joke, right?
It could be a joke. Look, it's pro wrestling. There's guys whose music pops, and it's a fucking joke.
Wait, it can be any. So any of the 3. Should I
Yeah.
specify which one it is?
I think you don't have to. I think people could figure it out.
Okay. So the first one would be the wrestling, my wrestling one.
Okay.
And no, because then I would have to specify the character. But I think if I was a boxer, it was a joke. But I think it'd be cool because everybody likes the song. It'll be funny, and you want to disarm the guy. You don't want him to get. You know what I mean?
You want to I love that philosophy.
I don't want him to come out with like fired up music where he's like, this guy's fucking serious. You will, right? But if I came out with Britney Spears, "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time,"
Come on, as your.
they'd be giggling.
Yo, there's guys that do that. There was a guy, I believe he was a Kiwi fighter, a UFC fighter, and he came out to Celine Dion, to the Titanic song.
No.
And I literally, that's Whitney Houston.
Oh.
But
Which
I
one's
listened. The one of the
I
near
always
far,
love you.
wherever you
Got
are.
it.
That one, wherever that goes. And I'm legit watching this, and I even tweeted, I was like, yo, you gotta be a tough motherfucker to have the balls to have that. And he
Yeah.
was. He's a big ass heavyweight dude from New Zealand, and he won. And then he drank beer out of a shoe.
Yo, you know what it is? It's like whenever people tease, Brendan Shaw about the clothes he wears and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
look, if you can beat up 99% of the world, you wear whatever the fuck you want.
Oh hell yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But if you're the 99%, you gotta watch your ass.
Yeah. But when you're in that 1%, you're like, man, I'm gonna wear these tight, skinny jeans, and I'm gonna wear a tight shirt that has a dolphin on it.
So your Britney Spears
Hit me, baby, one more time.
is your MMA or boxing?
Boxing.
Okay. So my
By the way,
boxing.
pink shorts, pink robe, bunny ears.
Macaulay Culkin style. I like that. Okay, so my boxing one will be Tupac, Fight Till the End. YouTube it. It. Even if you're anti-violence, if you're Mahatma Gandhi, okay, you're all about peace. You're willing to take physical violence and just look back and bow your head and not strike back. If you hear this song, you will hit first. Like it doesn't make you want to hit a home run.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you want to tackle somebody harder than you've ever tackled anyone. It makes you want to throw a left hook that they never saw coming because they thought you were going to jab, so they covered up in front of their face, and your hook just goes fucking bash. And
I
then you
know
hear Tupac start
exactly
screaming,
what you're
"Raise
talking
up and don't let him see it." And I'm telling you, that's my boxing song. Now, it might get my opponent hyped too.
Yeah.
But it ain't gonna get them as hyped as I'm hyped.
I will tell you, the way I refer to songs like that, those are songs that make you want to fuck or fight. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know if I can fuck to that one.
But you know what I
It'd be an
mean? But
angry
you're
one.
like, oh, I'm gonna.
It'd have to be like breakup sex.
Yeah. The fuck or fight music where you're like, I don't know if I want to fuck or fight somebody.
That's scary music. I don't know if I know the same kind of music you do. I just either want to fuck or fight. Like those are so different
Not in
feelings
college,
for
they're
me.
not. In college, it's close.
I didn't go to college.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks for wising me up. What's you got wrestling? You got boxing. Right now we're only doing 3 for our Rushmore. So
Well, we'll do a wild card.
A wild card, okay.
So my WMMA,
I like that.
my MMA
What would
one.
be your women's MMA
Yeah.
walkout music?
Well, I gotta listen, man. I'm not sure. I think I'd fare better in that league. Not much. but I last like a little longer.
Nah, you respect women, so you'd hesitate more and get fucked up quicker.
Yeah, but like I think maybe I could eat 2 punches instead of just 1.
Nah, I put you in there with like Cyborg, someone
No,
close
that's
to
one
your
punch.
weight class.
Is she? How much does she weigh?
Walking, at least 150.
Oh, she is my weight class.
Oh, she'll fuck you up, dude.
Oh, that's 1 punch. That's 1
Maybe
punch.
not. Well, Holly Holm took about 40 of them. You can
Yeah,
take
but
a
I think
few.
Holly Holmes.
She got a better chin than you, but you take a couple. I'm just telling you, they're all gonna hurt.
Yeah.
You just take a knee, like guys who fought Tyson when he got out of jail.
Yo, I almost took a knee against that 110-pound woman who hit me 140 times in the
No,
ring.
you almost took a knee from your kid.
Well, I was so tired, I did take a knee. I couldn't catch. I was doing that.
What's your next
my
song?
MMA.
MMA song.
Know your enemy.
Who's
Know
that?
your enemy. Ba-da-ba-ba.
What's
Raging
the-
is the Machine.
Oh, dude, that's hard.
Know Your Enemy, there's a live version of Know Your Enemy on YouTube that will make you want to go out in the middle of the street and stop traffic with your head. It's just like...
They have hard songs, man.
I will tell you something right now. If Rage got back together,
Yeah.
there isn't a price on a ticket that I would not pay to go see them.
$1,000?
Easy. I would pay $1,000 to go see them.
That's, I think, feel is the benchmark.
That's-
Would you pay $1,000 to see this person
That's
sing?
as far as I go, by the way.
By the way, people are paying a lot more than that to
Yep.
see Bruce Springsteen right now in that
100%
little
in Broadway,
1,100
yep.
seat theater. A lot more.
But if you're telling me this is the last show Rage ever plays live,
$1,000
and they've
ain't
never
shit,
played, this is it. They're going to play 1 show. That's like, Zeppelin was going to play 2 shows. You're going to pay $1,000? Yeah, I'll pay $1,000 to go see Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Because you when you're talking about once in a lifetime stuff, $1,000 to me isn't that much, because you know what I've really started to think about, especially as I approach 50, everybody?
Oh, shit. Hey, when is the B-Day?
Well, I turned 49 this year, 50 next year.
When is your birthday, though?
October 19th.
October. Oh, shit.
So as I approach 50, I'm starting to put more of a premium on, I got to experience more that I have not experienced, because
Bucket list. You're officially old.
I'm officially old.
Boom.
But
You just defined the bucket list.
Right, I didn't want to say bucket list because I know that makes me feel old.
Yeah, but that's exactly what you just
but I'm not
defined.
saying, I'm just saying new
yeah, but if I
experiences.
said, yeah, I just want to eat some like fish that's not cooked,
Yeah.
like on some nice warm rice with some wasabi in between. I don't want sushi, but I want like raw fish.
That's not the same at all. When I was, no, I'm not saying. All I'm
You
saying.
sound like that guy when Dolph asked him to leave. That's not what I'm saying. Like, you were right away. All right, go
What
ahead.
I'm saying, Freddie, is that I would just like to experience some things I haven't experienced before.
Ever. Yeah, totally. Before you die.
No, not before.
Not in a bucket list way.
Yeah, just to do it.
Before you die.
Not before I die. Just like
So
sometime-
after?
No, like sometime soon.
Right.
Yeah. But
As you age and you realize that your days are more numbered.
Yeah.
There are things that you haven't done yet that you say, hey, I should maybe experience these things and
Yes.
see if I enjoy them.
Right, but they're not on a list.
No, not a list. Just like an itemized, organized kind of wish paper.
Well, they're not on a list, but I have a Microsoft Word document.
Okay. A wish document.
Well, it's
Which
not-
isn't a bucket.
No, there's no bucket, and
Right.
there's not wishes, because it's not like because they're gonna happen. A wish.
No, I know it sounds like a duck and it quacks like
But
a
it's
duck,
not.
but it's not. A
No,
duck.
no,
It's a platypus.
You know what it is, man? It's just, you know what it is, dude?
What?
It's not a bucket list. It's just it's
Things to do before you die.
Yeah. No.
You just got Daffy Duck.
I did get that.
I just Bugs Bunny. He does not have to shoot you now. Shoot me now.
Cake or death.
All right.
All right. So I said know your enemy.
All right. So I have to put
Not
this-
on my bucket list.
No, not at all. I have to have this song as one of them, and it can't be the wild card song because it's too important to me. So I'd name my son after the man, for crying out loud. And there's even like this hip hop remix of it that's pretty sick, and it goes junk, 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 junk. Junk, junk, junk. Because that song,
tired.
man, I'm ready to work out. I'm ready to
Yeah.
do anything in that. But I have to walk out to the same music that Rocky fucking Balboa gets. Even though he technically doesn't walk out to that music. That's just music from the movie.
Right.
But it's still like my favorite fight song ever. So That will be my MMA music because like the young fighter who's gonna like murk me when I walk in the ring, probably wouldn't know it was from Rocky and still think that was some pretty cool shit before he fucked me up.
I like that. All right, so for me, I'm going wrestling.
I'm saving my wrestling for last too.
Well, we got one more. We got wild card.
That's wild card, but I'm talking about the real shit.
Wrestling, I'm definitely going. I want people to be like, what? Like, why is this?
That's perfect.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what?
That's heat.
Like,
heat means people want to see you get hit and beat up.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So without a doubt, and by the way, I've said this for anybody who's ever asked me before what I thought. I've been asked what I would strip to and what I would walk out to wrestling to. What I would walk out to wrestling, and it's been this for a decade, is Caribbean Queen by Billy Ocean.
Yo, we've talked about this. You know, I'm like closet Billy Ocean fan #1.
Because for me,
I secretly run his fan club online.
Everybody knows the song.
Yeah.
Everybody will sing along to it. But why the fuck is that his? Why? But you know, everyone's like, why is that? And I'm in the middle of the ring, and everyone's singing Caribbean Queen.
That's money.
But why do I have it? Because I'm certainly not from the Caribbean.
Who cares?
Right.
Dude,
So that would be my. And you know what? If did you remember that video?
Yes, I'm Josh. We did like a whole episode.
We did?
Where all I talked about was like my love for Billy Ocean, man.
Yo, that.
Get into my car, get in the backseat, baby. Get the hell out of here.
That's a good one. All right, so that would be my. I'm gonna have to think of a good wrestler's name that would come out to Caribbean Queen. But
It wouldn't be the producer.
No.
Okay, so this was a gimmick that I wanted to do for wrestler whoever. My pitch was for Daniel Bryan when he first worked there. They gave him like generic like rock music. He didn't have any like anything unique, and so I would make it my own music. So here's the gimmick, okay? And it's just to make people hate me and my opponent hate me. So I'm always introduced second, okay? Or I guess it could even work first. It's even more of a dick move. So my opponent comes out, his music plays. Let's say it's The Rock. Dun, 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 The Rock says, and he's walking down, and everybody loves The Rock. And he's in the ring, and then they announce his opponent. Same motherfucking song. No matter who. So if it's Stone Cold and you hear the glass break, as soon as they introduce me, and I'm fucking coming out to your fucking music and disrespecting you. And if it's Shinsuke Nakamura, then I'm coming out to it doesn't matter.
Ballsy.
And I'm telling you, that's heel moves right there. They tried to do it with Dolph Ziggler. My buddy who works there, I think probably pitched my idea again, and they were like, no, that sucks, but we'll do this. And he started like getting people excited to see someone else, but then it would be him.
That's amazing, dude.
But for me, I would just legit steal your music and make you wrestle me after you heard your song twice.
You know, I know comics who've gone on the road together who are friends, right? In the feature and the headliner.
You're about to tell me a story that my dad and one of his best friends used to do. I know it for a fact.
Yeah. So, the feature, to fuck with the headliner, would like do his closer or do the best jokes. He would do his entire best jokes and open it up, and he'd be like, "All right, and now come to the stage." And they were buddies.
But he's doing his buddy's jokes.
He's doing the headliner's jokes.
Yeah.
Now the headliner doesn't want to do the features jokes because
Dude.
they're not as good. So I know a guy who, you know, he was like, "I'm gonna fuck with him this entire weekend," and he was like, I go, "What are you gonna do?" He goes, "I'm gonna do his best jokes in front of him."
Dude, this
And
is
I was
such
like,
a
so,
money move.
and the other thing he did, because the headliner was like, "Fuck this dude, don't do that shit. You fucking do that
and he
shit."
knew it was gonna get him hot.
He was like, "You fucking do that shit." And so instead, he went on stage. He was like, "I promise I won't do that." He went on stage, and for the first 15 minutes, he had a 30-minute set, didn't talk.
What do you mean?
The feature didn't talk the first 15 minutes. He just sat on stage, and people were like, he just sat there, made it super weird, and then he just started saying the most awful things, and then people just started to get up and leave.
No. Before he even go. Oh my God, dude.
And he was like, "I didn't do your act," and he was
respect
like,
for not giving their names, but dude,
No, I can't
that's a
give names.
money prank.
It was one of my favorite because.
But the guy who got has forgiven him since. Yes.
He forgave him that weekend.
Yeah, that's
because
so
as
good.
a comic, look, you know, dude.
Dude, so my dad, I have to tell you, so my dad and Tim Thomerson,
One of the greatest underrated comics of all time, by the way.
they were blood brothers, okay? Like they toured together. He opened for my dad all the time. My dad would even open for him, even if my dad was the headliner sometimes, just because they thought it was cool. Tim was the veteran. My dad was not.
Yep.
My dad was very new. And Tim did it to him one time before my dad went on and did but in his voices, like did the grandma voice, like, oh, Freddie, the wedding was so beautiful, the flowers, the cake, your father looked so handsome, you should have been there. I was there. Like, I mean, he literally did the whole thing. And so my dad was like, fuck it, I'm doing Stagecoach. And Tim Thomerson would do this Stagecoach in 5 minutes. And he would close his show.
Dude.
Dude, it was hysterical. And my dad went up and did it. And this is a story my uncle Ron de Blasio, was my dad's manager, told me. He goes, and from that moment on, for the next like 6 months, all they did was steal each other's joke. They would literally not tell a joke that belonged to them. They would only do each other's act. So when you tell me that 30, 40 plus years later, dudes and girls are still doing that to one another, like that is... I've known wrestlers that have done some shit before somebody had to go out, like put Icy Hot in their fucking trunks and shit. But that's hard to pull off because a lot of times the guys now just get dressed early. But I love that, like, professional behind-the-scenes pranks, man.
Freddie, did I ever tell you, I went on spring break
Crazy.
with this dude who we didn't want to come on spring break with us. And so we were just playing practical jokes on him the entire week. And he passed out face down in his underwear on the couch in the living room. So I took peanut butter.
I'm just seeing where we're at.
Well, we got one left, one each. I took peanut butter
What
and I smeared his underwear.
Ew!
So I put it in his underwear. And we just sat in the living room and waited for him to wake up. Just watching TV. So, you know, you wake up and you're like, what's going on? And all you feel is that.
Something warm and sticky.
Yeah, like a goop of peanut
On the
butter.
butt.
On the butt. And we were in Texas, so it probably started to get a little warm. And
Oh, don't make it gross, Josh. Don't make it gross just to be funny.
So he said, because we know what's in his pants. So we want to know how he's going to handle it. Because for sure he thinks he shit himself. So
I was drinking water.
So he goes, he wakes up and you see him, he goes like this, he goes. And he gets this real concerned look on his face, right? And I go, what's up, man? And he was like, how long have I been out here? And I was like, I don't know, you passed out here. He was like, and I go, you okay? And he was like, this is my favorite, this was my favorite line from that spring break for sure. He goes, yeah, I just gotta go check on something. He wrapped the towel.
Oh, man, I just gotta go check.
Wrapped the blanket around his waist so we couldn't see the load in his pants.
I gotta go check on something.
Man, he ran. You heard him go from the bathroom. You motherfuckers!
That means he smelled.
That's what I said to him. That's what I said to him.
That means
he
you
goes,
smelled.
put peanut butter in my underwear. I go, did you smell that shit in your underwear? He was like, well, I had to know what it is. I'm like, nah, you didn't really. You could have just taken your underwear off and wiped your ass, and it would have been over.
Making my face.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I had to tell my best pass out prank now, which I'm sure I told you before. I did a movie called Summer Catch. One of the actors passed out at my house. A bunch of us were over there. I had like arcade games that we rented and shit. It was crazy. It was on the beach. It was like gorgeous. And so everyone would come there because it was more fun.
Right.
And this dude passed out in the living room, and we all get up the next morning. He's still there. And I had this Tim's unit for my shoulder. A Tim's unit is electronic, like stimulus.
A muscle stimulant?
Yeah, to like make the muscles fire and bring fresh blood into it, right? But it's like you're getting electrocuted. If you turn it up, it would make my whole arm like zzz, and like curl. I'd be like, oh, and you do that just because it was fun, right? Not because it was safe. And no, don't do that. So my man was asleep, and we're all sitting there playing arcade games, and he's still passed out. And I just kind of see it as I'm walking to like grab something to drink, and I was like, yo, guys. And I'm laughing before I even do it, right? Because I'm not as good at pranks as you.
Dude, I know it's gonna happen. This is a great prank.
Dude, there's 4 sticky pads, okay? His leg is hanging over the arm of the chair, like this here. I don't know if you could see it, but it's like folded over. And he's wearing shorts. So I stick the first, I'm shaking, I'm laughing so hard, right? I'm like, okay. And everyone's like, shh, be quiet. I stick the first one on and duck behind the chair, because I'm like, he's gonna wake up for sure. Nothing. I stick the second one on, I'm still dying, right? I'm trying to hold it in. This one's on the inside of the thigh, okay? The more sensitive, tender spot. I duck down again, he doesn't move. So now I get more confident. I put the third one on, we're good. Fourth one on, we're good. I turn on the Tim's unit. I put at 10, I think, this is a long time ago, it would make my arm curl up to where I couldn't uncurl it unless I turned it off. I put it on 5, and I see his little leg. I shouldn't say that. I see his leg start to like wiggle, right? Like this. Good.
But he's not waking up.
No. Good. He was drinking. Good. So I turn it up to 7, which is, I know what it feels like on my shoulder, and that's like full on, and his leg starts going like this, and it's like pretty steady. And I look back, and one of the guys that was staying there just kind of shrugs, like the fuck it shrug. So I'm like, fuck it. What am I gonna do, man? Like, I want him to wake up before it gets funnier. So I just fucking 15.
Oh no!
His leg looks like it's trying to get away. Like it literally shoots straight up and it's like it's running from him. And he jumps up and swings his arm down, almost hits me, but he knows something is going on, like his leg's on fire, right? And he hits his leg and it's making the things like fly off his leg, and he sees all of us laughing. He goes, "You motherfuckers! I dreamt I was dying!" And we were on the ground, dead, like needed oxygen, and he did not make it better for him. He was super duper pissed.
Dude, I will tell you something. Some of the best jokes, and for those of you who are looking to get into jokes, practical jokes,
if you're looking to have your friends hate you,
some of the best jokes are the ones where people are asleep, because they're so
awful moral advice.
They're so confused. They're so confused. Do you know what I mean? There's that second of what the fuck
You're
is
basically
happening.
saying your opponent is so weakened by this point.
Listen, you always go for the 3-legged antelope. Why are you chasing after the antelope that can run away? You know the retarded one down by the water hole with
You're
the 3
ridiculous.
legs? That's the one you want.
I can't believe I brought that.
That's the one you want. You don't want to chase after the ones that get away.
This is true.
The sleeping ones.
We've done things
Best.
where we tied a string, or not a string, but rope to my man's belt that was still on his jeans when he was passed out, and then tied it to the little just like a pillar that was in a living room, and then woke him up like, "Go, go, go!" And he ran about 4 feet, and the rope was about 6.
Oh.
And that last step when it caught, I mean, like if you bend this way, but that way, that's what he did. Just good down on the ground.
Oh my God! Have you seen the video of that dude so passed out drunk that they Toy Story'd him? They tied strings to him.
No, but you remember the Instagram one I sent you where they drew all over the guy's face and his eyes were open?
He
was passed out, and they
out.
started making. He's like, "What do you mean my eyes are open?"
That
He did like the voice.
That creeped me out. All right, you ready
All right.
for my wild card?
Oh yeah, we got wild.
And my
cards.
wild
Go.
card is going to be the song that I would strip to. Without a doubt, everybody, it's between one of two, and it just depends on what outfit I want to wear. I'm either going Kickstart My Heart.
I like that. That's Dolph Ziggler right there. That's WWE style.
Or does he do Kickstart?
No, but he like Instagrammed that group, and his whole look is glam rock.
Kickstart would be, look, if I'm coming out just balls to the wall, we're Kickstart.
I like that. Wow, Kickstart.
But if you want a little slower, you want Josh to get in there and work that pole, like a virgin.
Do you want Josh to get in there and work that pole?
I've always wanted to say that. Yeah, I'll work that pole like a virgin, Madonna.
I don't even want to say mine.
Yeah.
It's just Danger Zone.
How
am I supposed to compete with your stripper song?
Danger Zone's great.
I don't even have. Okay, I'll do my stripper song.
Okay.
And this one will be so horrible that everyone will be like, "Actually, that's so bad. That shit is money."
What do you got?
He only had one hit.
Okay.
And then he went to jail, and he's British. His name's Mark Morrison, and the song is called "Return of the Mac."
Why do you
that song?
Not terrible, dude.
By the way,
Yeah.
telling you right now,
Why
it
do
would
you go
make.
to jail?
I don't know, but it would make people want to kick my ass. That's really what it's all about.
Not.
My
Listen.
characters in video games, I make them
I know you
so that you want to hate them. Like you gotta understand. Like Sea of Thieves allows you to fly flags on your ship to sort of state your intentions. Crossbones means, hey, I'm a pirate. I'm gonna come get you. A yellow flag is more chill. A checkered flag is, hey, do you want to race boats? and they have an all-inclusive rainbow flag, meaning all cultures are welcome here. I sport that because I'm chill with everybody, but I really sport it because I know how many scumbags are going to come after me just because I sport that flag.
Yeah.
So that's why I do it.
Do they have the eggplant flag?
They have a blue one. They have a yellow one. They have
No, I mean a
skull
flag
shark.
that has an eggplant on there, so it just looks like, you know, that's
Just
the
a
emoji
dick?
for dick.
No, but I wish they had a
They
dick
should,
flag.
Yeah, they should have eggplant.
Should
and
be
two
the
peaches.
picture my dad drew.
Yeah, that's a
The
great
guy
picture.
that did the voice for Roger Rabbit, Charles Fleischer, he drew a picture of a giant old Fleischer dick.
Guys, a giant Fleischer dick. On August 11th, Prinze and the Wolf will be in Boston.
Crazy.
The very first live podcast. We will have special guests. I'll have my guitar with me. There'll be a lot of this ridiculousness.
Yeah. I'll be nervous.
I will.
For sure. You won't be.
No, I won't be nervous.
I will be, but I'll chill about 5 minutes in.
Yeah, man. I'll be super excited. I'm really excited to
I just
do
want
this.
you guys to laugh and have a good time. That's
They're gonna
all.
laugh and have a good time. We're gonna do something at the live shows that we don't that is like the Patreon. We're gonna do a Q&A. So make sure if you get questions, bring them. We're there to answer or give advice. You know how good we are with giving advice.
Oh yeah. Josh just gave great advice. If you want to fuck with people, wait till they're asleep.
It's actually the best advice I could give
It's actually, yeah.
It's not the
Pretty smart.
It's not terrible. But guys, and all my dates on my website, comedianjoshwolf.com. I think that I got them up through September. Control Chaos tonight with Brendan Schaub,
Oh shit.
Greg Garcia, who is the
What, dude?
creator of My Name is Earl and Raising Hope and guest book, and then Tammy's coming back. The musical guest tonight is this young kid who plays the electric violin as he raps.
Get the fuck out of here. That's some Shinsuke Nakamura shit.
Yo, I heard his flow. Are you familiar with a rapper named Logic?
Yeah.
Okay, his flow was like that. It's super cool. And he plays the fucking violin and
Fuck out of here, man. Well, I'm tuning in for sure,
It's
man.
so good.
Not
It's
for
so
you, Greg or Brandon.
And Tammy.
And Tammy. I'm tuning in for the electric violin rapper.
I am too.
All right, cool.
Anything we want to promote?
GEGGHEAD, Prinze and the Wolf always comes out on GEGGHEAD on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Friday, the brand new episode of Geg Wars, starring the cast of Star Wars Rebels and Sam Witwer as the GM. This is not one we did on Twitch. This is a brand new one, new content, new, 2 hours worth. That drops on Friday. What else? That's it.
I think that's it.
Stay
Guys,
awesome.
the one thing I will say is tell your mama, tell your friends. Just remember, if you know anybody who might like this podcast, spread the word. Spread the word. Help your boys out.
No, don't do it.
Okay, don't do it. But download, rate, and subscribe on iTunes. Prinze and the Wolf, we love you.
Do that, but don't tell people.
Later. Return of the Mac.
Hold on.
Return of the Mac.
You know that song was the business for like 8 days?
Yeah, man. It actually.
But I